That's my lucha libre socks.
Your what socks? Nora, I thought they were Hello Kitty socks.
Oh, thank you.
But clearly they're very.
And I really am a 3-year-old.
Yes, I thought you were trying.
Hi, put on your Hello Kitty, as Nathan Lane would say. One does want a hint of color. Really.
Listen, Robin, this is the thing about you. I think you're in such a good place professionally. Personally, you're married to your wife Susan, who you met at an Apple store. I'm thinking I need to get myself to Apple.
Go, girl.
But this
Get the new iPhone 5.
I'm thinking about
It's amazing to have a phone that talks to you. I don't need that. I'm going, Siri, what? Print it off, Robin. Do not text that out.
This is what I want to talk to you, Robin, about, because I thought this was hilarious.
My phone has a moral GPS on it. The girl you're texting is the same age as your daughter. Reroute.
Yes. Do not do that.
Yeah.
Robin, you got married for the third time.
Third time. This is the charm. That's it. If I get married, no more.
No. But your definition of divorce is where I'm going, because I thought this was hilarious. Divorce, derived from the Latin word meaning to rip a man's genitals out of his wallet.
That was an old joke.
I thought that
Through his wallet, but thank you.
I had never heard that before.
Old joke, but thank you for bringing that back.
You're welcome.
And also, don't you just come kick me in the heart?
No. Okay, let's talk about your heart, because you've been very candid.
The cow valve is still working.
Yes.
I can crap standing up. Morning, everybody.
But how has your heart operation changed you? Do you feel you've gotten a second chance at life?
Thank you.
No, I'm glad you're here, really.
It's really wonderful, because, Charlie knows the same thing. You get a big second. It's a giant reboot, literally.
You bet it is.
The whole system reboots, and you appreciate everyone and everything.
For the family of Robin Williams, the shared sorrow over his death has now descended into something else: acrimony. There is a bitter court battle going on right now over his estate. We have seen this before with so many other celebrities, and ABC's Lindsay Davis is on the story tonight.
Less than 8 months after Robin Williams' tragic suicide at his home in Tiburon, California, his family is locked in a bitter feud over the late comedian's estate, estimated at around $50 million. But at issue now, 1,200 items that belong to Williams, including valuable collections and personal mementos.
The fact that we're in court is not a happy thing for anybody.
This morning, an attorney for Williams' third wife, Susan Schneider, squared off in a San Francisco courtroom with the lawyer for his 3 children from previous marriages to protect the items that she thinks are rightfully hers.
We're trying to honor Robin Williams' wishes that his wife can stay in the home and not have the home stripped of the normal things that are in a home.
Schneider said in court documents that she's not seeking any entertainment memorabilia from her late husband's career.
Fly, be free!
Including the suspenders that he wore on the Mork and Mindy show, the breakout role which made Robin Williams a star. But she claims in court documents that days after Williams' death last August, she became frightened by the co-trustees after they removed items she feels are rightfully hers.
$50 million sounds like enough for everybody, but you can't put a price on what you value. Some of those items, some of the things that Robin Williams collected over his lifetime, both sides are saying those things are priceless.
The co-trustees and Williams' children deny removing anything from the home Schneider shared with their dad. Williams' daughter Zelda even speaking out tonight on her Tumblr page saying, "My brothers and I have not at any point since Dad's death been invited to or visited his and Susan's house in Tiburon, nor have we removed anything from it." And in court documents, they say their stepmother is adding insult to a terrible injury by interpreting their father's will in a way he didn't intend.
His intention was to not have this in the courts. As an intensely private person, Mr. Williams wouldn't have wanted this.
Schneider's petition suggests she should have personal items from their home, like the tuxedo Williams wore at their wedding less than 3 years ago. And she asks that his extensive collection of watches be excluded from the list of jewelry that's intended for his children.
The art in the walls, the furniture, her wedding presents, those are the things that stay. The other things, such as the Academy Award statue and other items, they clearly go to the kids, as Mr. Williams wanted.
She also claims she's entitled to his collections of knickknacks, but court documents submitted on his daughter Zelda's behalf object, getting specific about what his children believe is rightfully theirs, an eclectic array of keepsakes as diverse as Williams' legendary career. From Mrs. Doubtfire
Hello!
to Good Morning Vietnam.
Good morning, Vietnam!
His Oscar-winning role in Good Will Hunting.
You don't know about real loss
because that only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself.
As the details of the Robin Williams tragedy continue to unfold, shocking new information has come to light, and the mainstream media has, as usual, failed to ask some incredibly relevant and important questions. The Telegraph reported that, quote, Robin Williams resented the idea of having to appear in a second Mrs. Doubtfire film because film projects often, quote, brought out his demons. Williams was working on 4 projects when he died this week, but the source, who wished to remain anonymous, said that he felt compelled to keep the money coming in. According to the neighbor and close friend of Williams, he did not feel that starring in film was good for his mental well-being. Quote, Robin had promised himself he would not do any more as he invested so much in his roles that it left him drained and particularly vulnerable to depressive episodes. He signed up to do them purely out of necessity. He wasn't poor, but the money wasn't rolling in anymore, and life is expensive when you have to pay off 2 ex-wives and have a family to support. Now, just last month, Williams said he was returning to rehab to, quote, fine-tune his sobriety. Dr. Harry Croft, a psychiatrist and addiction expert and chief of CNS trials at the Clinical Trials of Texas, says the phrase suggests to him that Williams wasn't actually planning to visit a rehab center for addiction, but was instead seeking help at a psychiatric hospital. Quote, I would surmise that he was in treatment for depression, not substance abuse, Croft told CBS News. One doesn't really enter a facility for maintenance of sobriety unless there's something else that's going on that threatens that sobriety. Croft pointed out that checking into rehab has become an intrinsic part of celebrity culture, but getting help for mental illness still carries plenty of stigma in society. After his death, it was revealed that Williams had been battling severe depression of late. While not confirmed by his representatives, given that antidepressants and SSRIs in particular are commonly prescribed to those battling depression, it's hardly unreasonable to ask if Williams was taking such medications. In 2011, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention published a report that identified about 11% of the American public as antidepressant users, a 400% increase since the 1980s when previous surveys were taken. $11.3 billion is the amount of money spent on antidepressant medications annually in the United States. Americans consume more antidepressants than any other developed nation in the world. According to the United Kingdom's National Health Service, SSRIs are the most widely prescribed type of antidepressants. They are usually preferred over other antidepressants as they cause fewer side effects. Martin Teicher, a Harvard psychiatrist, stated back in 2005 that Eli Lilly & Co., the company behind Prozac, applied for a license in Germany, but regulators rejected the application, citing the risk of suicide. A 2005 article from the Harvard Mental Health Letter stated, quote, the risk that antidepressants will incite violent or self-destructive actions is a subject of renewed controversy. Suicidal thoughts, although no suicides, in patients taking SSRIs were first reported in 1990, shortly after the drugs were introduced. An FDA committee rejected the association, but the issue was never completely settled. In October 2004, after much hesitation and pressure from parents and Congress, the FDA issued a black box warning for physicians and pharmacists, its strongest available measure short of withdrawing a drug from the market. The warning is placed on package inserts for all antidepressants in common use. It mentions the risk of suicidal thoughts, hostility, and agitation in both children and adults, specifically citing statistical analyses of clinical trials. Robin Williams' wife also released a statement revealing the following. Robin's sobriety was intact, and he was brave as he struggled with his own battles of depression, anxiety, as well as early stages of Parkinson's disease, which he was not yet ready to share publicly. Now, given that he was involved in 4 multi-million-dollar movie projects, it seems quite surprising that he would be so secretive about his Parkinson's disease. My understanding is that if you are going to sign on to a very expensive film project, you must be forthcoming with all of your health issues, and it seems hard to imagine that people would sign him on if he had Parkinson's disease without knowing ahead of time. So this could be another reason why he had anxiety. He may have felt that he had to pay off his ex-wives and that he did not have many more years of work ahead of him where he could make the kind of money he'd made in the past.